Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Bread Report. This is Raf, and today we have something very interesting in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC metagame. So the Series 1 usage information has been compiled here by user Captain Fop on Reddit in our VGC, and there's a lot of interesting analyses and information that we could dive into right now. So this list here has some of the most used Pokemon in the meta, in the current and previous last season, Series 1. As you could see, Skeledirge had somewhat a low appearance rate, but fairly decent win rate. Then we go higher a bit, there's more used Pokemon. The Dozo Tatsugiri, very popular, and of course the Dragonite with its Terranormal Extreme Speed. Alright, so now also Captain Fop has some analyses on the different Pokemon. In Skeledirge here, he talks about how it doesn't appear as often, but it doesn't mean that you can't win with it. Now, Skeledirge has Unaware, and so it's able to ignore all the stat boosts of the opponents. This is helpful when you're pairing this very bulky Pokemon with something like Grimmsnarl, who could set up screens and lower the damage done to your team to as little as possible. And then you also have the move Slack Off, which again heals HP, which is very useful for this very bulky Pokemon. And you could also use Torch Song if nothing's threatening you. You might as well raise your special attack using Torch Song as well. You could also run Terra on the Skeledirge using Fairy or Grass, and some people actually do run Terra Blast on this Pokemon. Murkrow. So Murkrow, again, is returning with the Prankster ability. You'll give it an Eviolite to raise its defenses, and usually people run Haze, Tailwind, Taunt, and then Foul Play. It's used a lot, but does not mean that the Tailwind Murkrow is bad. And if the winds are going down, as Captain Fop says here, we also have other Pokemon. Let's look at Dragonite. So, the other hand of the meta game, he writes, we have a 44.5 win rate with its Terranormal Extreme Speed. However, you could also run around things using other moves in its strategy. I ran into a Dragonite that was using Earthquake and Fire Punch, and looked like it was just a multi-scale. I think that's why I didn't take much damage from it. But yeah, Terra type, normal, extreme speed, that is a monster to come across in the battles. He also talks about Armorogue. So Armorogue, he writes, has been a meta in the Series 1 metagame. There's almost 20% usage, and it has an above 50% win rate. It just works with its attacks, Captain Fop writes, as Heat Wave, Trick Room, Psychic, Wide Guard, and Armor Cannon. It is a very popular Terra target, he writes, and they usually give it Grass typing in the Terra because you have Flash Fire. So if you get hit by a Fire type move when it's a Grass type, you're going to actually get your own Armor Cannon to increase. Hydreigon. Okay, so Hydreigon's very interesting. I at first thought that people are going to run Terra Electric on the Hydreigon because then it has Levitate and you don't have any weakness. But no, this is not the case. People are actually running Poison or Steel, also Fire. Hydreigon, Captain Fop writes, stands out as it's one of the more versatile Pokemon in the Series 1 metagame. It has very powerful special attacks such as Draco Meteor, Heat Wave, Dark Pulse, or Flash Cannon. I've seen people run the Hydreigon, just Terra Dragon, Dragon Pulse, maybe a Life Orb on it, and it just spins things crazy. Alright, Golden Go. Captain Fop writes Golden Go here as the highest usage rate of any Pokemon in the current metagame, and it appears on over a quarter of all teams, and it sits under a 50% win rate. Usually people use, Nasty Plot. He covers Nasty Plot. I've seen Choice Specs, Golden Go, using just the Steel type Make It Rain, or Shadow Ball, you Terra type into the Ghost type, or stuff like that. Nasty Plot sets talks about here, it's worth giving a shot instead of a choice specs set. Very interesting. Alright, and we also have all this stuff, just other analyses and whatnot. So yeah, shout out to Captain Fop for making this wonderful guide on all these Pokemon, and be sure to do something nice for someone. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to the Bread Report.